Hi everyone, welcome to Go Hobby. I thought I'd put a little video together talking about the top 10 things you should think about before buying a Traxxas Slash 4x4 VXL. Number 1, versatility. Hands down, the Traxxas Slash is one of the most versatile vehicles on the RC market. There's just so much you could do to it. You can convert it into a monster truck, you could change it into a drag car, into a street car, you could even change it into an 8-scale style buggy, if that's what you want to do. Number 2, honestly, the Traxxas Slash is not the best vehicle for jumping. Its body tends to grab the air, it creates a sort of parachuting effect, which makes the car difficult to control. It's hard to get long distance jumps out of a Traxxas Slash. So if jumping is your thing, you might want to consider something with a more streamlined body, some sort of buggy styled car. Perhaps the Lossy Tenacity DB Pro if you're looking for something kind of in the style of a short course truck but with a smaller body, or maybe the Arrma Typhon 3S, or even the Traxxas Rustler 4x4 VXL. All of those are going to be better vehicles for jumping long distance and getting big air. Number 3, if you end up going with the Traxxas Slash, plan on replacing a lot of bodies. Whenever you're crashing, the body takes all the abuse because it's kind of like a shell. It covers everything, right? So all the scratches, all the impact is taken by the body. Now a new body costs anywhere from $30 to $50, plus you'll have to account for the cost of paint and stickers to make it look the way you want it to look. Number 4, if you're planning to run these cars in the sand and snow a lot, you might want to consider a different kind of vehicle, something with open wheels. Because again, the body, it's going to trap a lot of sand and snow. It's all going to cake up on the inside of the chassis, and you're going to have to reach in there and clean it out a lot. Especially in the snow. It's going to get so heavy, the car will become virtually undrivable. If you have something with open wheels, or you could just do this too. You could just chop the body away so the wheels are open. That will allow the snow and sand to fly out and not get trapped in the body quite as much. And that's a good way to go. Or you might want to consider a different vehicle. Again, the Lossy Tenacity DB Pro, Rustler, or an Arrma Typhon style vehicle with the open wheels. Number 5, the Traxxas Slash is advertised as a waterproof vehicle, and yes, while the electronics are waterproof, the bearings will rust. So plan on taking the car apart, drying out those bearings whenever you're running it in a wet climate. If you don't, they will rust, they will seize up after a while, and you'll end up having to replace them. Number 6, one of the weak spots on the Traxxas Slash is the plastic axles. If you plan on running 3S power, or just running it rough, or putting some larger tires on it, like Stampede tires, that's going to put a lot more load on the axles. I'd highly recommend upgrading to some metal axles. I'd recommend the Techno M5 axle set. It's super strong, super durable. You'll be very happy with it. Number 7. Another weakness of the Traxxas Slash has to do with the plastic shocks and shock caps. Now some Traxxas models come with upgraded shocks, but the base level VXL kit comes with plastic shocks and shock caps. Those tend to pop off and strip the threading. I'd recommend upgrading those to some sort of aluminum shock. Number 8. You may not know this, but Traxxas vehicles come with a training mode. You can set the ESC to cut the power by 50%. This is great for new hobbyists, young racers. It will prevent a lot of parts from being broken from crashes. It's something to consider and look into. Training mode. Number 9. You're probably aware of this, but you can get the Traxxas Slash in a variety of configurations. And one of the big differences has to do with getting a low center of gravity chassis versus a regular center of gravity chassis. And here's the difference here. Here's the higher center of gravity chassis and the low LCG chassis. The higher center of gravity chassis is good if you're backyard bashing, jumping, if you need that extra clearance, you don't want to bottom out all the time. The LCG chassis is better if you plan to run a lot on the road, or if you plan to race it. It's going to handle a little bit better. It's going to be better around the corners. It's going to be less likely to roll over around the corners because of the low center of gravity. Finally, number 10. If you have dreams of upgrading the power in this thing to like 4S or 6S, the Slash may not be the best vehicle for you. Really, 3S is the limit. That's what the components are designed to handle. If you end up going bigger than that, you're basically replacing everything in the car to get there. That's going to be really expensive. You might want to just start with a larger car to begin with, like some sort of 8-scale buggy that's already running on 4S power, and upgrade from there. But aside from all those things, both good and bad, the Traxxas Slash is a great car. There's a couple others around this price range that you might want to consider depending on your driving habits. Take a look at the Lossy Tenacity DB Pro for one. Take a look at the Traxxas Rustler VXL. Take a look at the Arrma Typhon 3S, or maybe even the Big Daddy, the 6S for more speed and more power. You really can't go wrong with any of those. I hope you found this video helpful. Take the time to like it, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time on Go Hobby.